Hey there, this is Jesse from winbigarcade.com, and we're going to be showing you how to install your LED marquee light kit for the Japanese DDR machine. I'd recommend taking your marquee off of the machine and setting it up on some sawhorses to make it a little bit easier to work. Once you've done that, you can remove the 4 screws that hold the marquee plastic on. As you can see here, the previous owner of this machine has helpfully cracked the marquee plastic. There's also a top and bottom bracket that are held on, as you can see me struggling with here. The bottom one is, you just need to loosen that up so that way when you put it back on, it'll just kind of slot in there. Now this marquee box only has one fluorescent bulb in it, but you'll often find 2. You can just turn the bulb to remove it and it should lift straight out. In another stunning act of helpfulness, the previous owner of this cabinet has ripped the connector off of this, so that's okay. We don't need it. The LED marquee kit includes the connector that you need. You can just wiggle this fixture and kind of remove it. See me inspecting it there. Now, I'm not going to be keeping this appliance anymore, so I'm going to just throw this in the trash. You can keep it if you ever feel like you're going to go back to the fluorescent bulbs, or if you don't know that you'll like how the LEDs look. This is a non-destructive upgrade, so you can kind of set those screws aside and put those someplace safe. I usually take this time to use some Windex or Simple Green and really clean out the top box, since hopefully you'll never need to get in here ever again. Now that we've got everything set up, we can grab our LED marquee kit, kind of sit it down and untangle it because it has certainly become tangled in shipping. I'm going to super speed this part as I frantically try to untangle my wires. Interesting note here, this is a prototype kit which I use zip ties and 2 single wires as opposed to the dual core wire that is in the finished product, so it is even worse to untangle. I also take this time to lay the kit out so I can sort of plan where it's going to go. The LED panels that I've included do have adhesive on the back, but since these are stuck in a vertical position, I also use some screws and a zip tie to secure the LED panel in place in case the adhesive fails. And what I'm doing here is securing the screws. We're going to be putting a zip tie around the screws so that it's held in place after the adhesive is applied, but the screws are just sort of threaded in there. It's not jamming down on the panel. After we've sunk the screws into the wood, we can remove the adhesive backing on the LED panels and stick them where they go. The 2 bottom panels are going to go in between the screws, as you see here. And the upper panels are going to use the fluorescent bulb mounts. And we can just kind of make sure we apply some firm downward pressure there so the adhesive sticks. You can kind of see here how we're going to attach the zip tie. Now, these don't have to be like ratchet crazy tight. They just sort of act as a retaining bracket for the LEDs. And the zip ties I include are pretty well rated for temperature, so there should be no issues here for melting or anything like that, or fire hazard. That was my nice drawing. And just kind of cut off the tails there. Now I've included 3 zip ties that are kind of put together, and that's just going to go right through the fluorescent bulb fixture hole there and just kind of keep it tight around the LED panel on the upper part of the box. I've put a big dramatic zoom here so you can kind of see how this is mounted. The adhesive should keep it on, and it works pretty well on the metal, but just in case, the zip tie is there to keep everything on. Next thing up is mounting the switching power supply. So you can use the 2 remaining screws, and there's little cutouts on either side. Now, these don't have to be insanely tight, so you can kind of be easy with it and just make sure it's there. They should stay pretty well in place. Only thing left to do is kind of put it all back together and fish your wires through the marquee stand there. In the back of your cabinet, in the monitor section, you'll see the 2 connectors that you need to connect, like so, and it only fits one way. Thanks for joining us. See you soon.